This is John Polrai. I'm coming to you from Tokyo, Japan. Here, I got an article from The Guardian. It's called Heard vs. Depp, Dueling Defamation Claims Embroil Actor and Her Ex in Court Battle. So, why is it about Amber? I mean, logic says, in alphabetical order says, that D comes before H, so Depp should come before Heard, and that's what people have been saying the whole time anyway, but okay. So they start to say a few things about the op-ed in the Washington Post, which we know about, and we've known about for a long time. Then they give a quote, apparently from Amber. Like many women, I'd been harassed and sexually assaulted by the time I was of college age. But I kept quiet. I did not expect filing complaints to bring justice, and I didn't see myself as a victim, Heard wrote. Then 2 years ago, I became a public figure representing domestic abuse, and I felt the full force of our culture's wrath for women who speak out. Seems like they're completely protected. I mean, Johnny Depp sued her because in this case, she has false allegations, but the corporations were on her side. Everyone who counted, everyone who hired her, was on her side. So I don't think you could factually say the full wrath or the full force as she puts it. Sure, there was a ton of backlash from the fans, but that's because there was no good evidence. The fans didn't believe her at all based on what she had shown. So of course there's going to be backlash for that. Friends and advisors told me I would never again work as an actress, that I'll be blacklisted. A movie I was attached to recast my role. I had just shot a 2-year campaign as the face of a global fashion brand, and the company dropped me, Heard continued. Questions arose as to whether I'll be able to keep my role of Mera in the movies Justice League and Aquaman, but I thought L'Oreal, who is pretty much the biggest company in the world for beauty products, hired her. So, wait a minute. She was dropped by who exactly? Maybe somebody, but not the biggest and one of the greatest companies in the world for beauty products. Heard did not mention her alleged abuser by name, but the timing of this piece indicated that she was talking about her ex-husband, Hollywood star Johnny Depp. Heard had publicly accused Depp of domestic abuse in 2016. Now, you guys might be wondering, why are you reading this? This is actually from March 27th, 2022, which is why I'm reading it. The Guardian actually printed this about 2 days ago. It's March 29th right now, so, the 28th right now, whatever. It's like 48 hours old, and this is the kind of crap they're saying. Then they go into the $50 million defamation lawsuit, which is very old news. They go on to say Depp denied it. They go on to say that it's been a huge legal battle over the years. Then they mention the court case is coming up on April 11th, 2022, which is the first indication here that The Guardian is up to speed on this. Exactly what impact the Virginia proceedings will have on the First Amendment free speech protections or victims' rights remains unclear until the trial begins. However, it is all but certain the proceedings will provide as clear an answer as possible about whether Depp abused Heard, not the other way around, and the free speech thing is over. Obviously, she has the full 100 freaking % free speech to say what she said, but that doesn't mean she's not liable for her words. That doesn't mean there are no consequences. No one stopped her from saying it. So she had the free speech. That shouldn't be an issue. There are a lot of issues that have to be unpacked in any defamation case, said Marianne Wang, who represented former Apprentice contestant Summer Zervos in her defamation case against Donald Trump. Fundamentally, if the speaker can prove that what she said or wrote was true, that will bar his claim, and I don't think she can. That's been the whole problem. She can't prove it. She tries, but she's got corrupt data on her cell phone, some Photoshop, and some witnesses who were in the park, taking Facebook photos when they should have been at the apartment with her. Or she was out who knows where, doing who knows what, but not getting evidence of abuse. Then they call on this clown about a little more free speech opinion. A plaintiff in a defamation case has to prove that a false statement is published about that person and that it causes harm to their reputation, Gutterman said. Well, clown, here's the thing. Johnny Depp got fired from one of the biggest franchises in Hollywood. So why did he get fired if that wasn't about him? Amber's going to try to say he got fired because he was, messing around on set and abusing people on set. Wasn't it like the 5th movie or the 6th movie they were on? Okay, it was like part 5. So wouldn't they have fired him previously? Like, say, part 3 or 4, or not rehired him for 5? He just magically got fired from 5? Magically got fired from Disney? Looking at this from the outside, I think the biggest issue is really the truth or falsity of the allegations, whether Johnny Depp committed domestic violence against his wife or then girlfriend, and on the converse, whether Amber Heard made stuff up about this, or whether she abused him, which they don't want to mention. And of course, they go on to mention the UK case, like they always do. It's already been so messy and frankly so disturbing to see this play out in public. I would imagine the only endgame he has is to try to restore his reputation, said Winter Wheeler, probably another semi-clown, a meditator and arbitrator who previously worked as a litigator. In my opinion, I don't think that happens from winning this case if he does, in fact, win. And I will say this person doesn't have the worst point here when thinking about the average moviegoer. I think people have already made up a decision about how they feel about him, and I don't think that's going to change, Wheeler said. Dragging your alleged victim back into court doesn't sit well with your average person. But wait a minute, clown. Wait a minute. If she's guilty, then it's not going to look like he dragged his victim, quote unquote, into court. It's going to look like he exposed a hoax, and he was rightful in doing so. You've got to prove she's the goddamn victim before you have the sympathy. That's why I'm calling these people, they say professionals, clowns, because they're not actually covering the full spectrum of speculation. And then the clown says, if I had to meditate this case, I would ask him, what are you really trying to accomplish here? Because ultimately, you're not going to walk away with a net positive, Wheeler said. It's just more people with their eyes on you. Well, here's what he's buying. He's buying his peace of mind back. He's buying his sleep back. He's buying justice back. That's what he's getting. He's proving her wrong. It's not about the money, although that's a little part of it. Let's not lie. Sure, it would be nice to recoup some of that money he lost, but it's mostly about getting people to know the truth. So, I don't know. I think this article is really crappy. There are worse. This isn't quite a hit piece. It's just very one-sided, and they don't really dive into any of the info, evidence, or proof that Depp's got against Amber. That's been out there for, 5 years now, something like that. So I'll give The Guardian, I think an F on this article. I was going to say a D-, but nah, it's a fail. You guys, let me know what you think down below. Doing shout-outs, special thanks, things like that. If you don't subscribe here, and you think about subscribing and you still don't, I guess I'll be sad, but I'll get over it. See you next time.